take them down.
Welcome everyone to another video today. My name is Nicholas or Nick Greer. It doesn't matter to me, so let's get into it. And today I will be talking about the DC Comics character Rampage. She made her first appearance in Superman Volume 2, Issue 7 in July of 1987. She was created by John Bryan. Kitty Faulkner is from Metropolis that works as a young scientist. She was secretly working on a project with her colleague, Dr. Tom Moyers. Kitty focused on constructing a large containment unit called the Bioenergy Actualizer. This containment can cause photosynthetic growth cycle, stored algae, and specimens to reproduce at a rapid rate, which can produce electricity. With this accomplishment of the actualizer, she and Tom would be interviewed by Lois Lane, who wanted to write a report on their achievement. During this interview, Kitty gave Lois a tour of the facility and explained the containment unit's benefits. However, Tom stated that the actualizer isn't all that safe, so he shut down one of its power regulators. The safety locks automatically were set off on the power regulators, which didn't sit well with both Lois and Kitty. They believed his behavior was irresponsible, which led to all three of them arguing with one another. As they argued, something went wrong with the regulator being shut off in the safety lock. Suddenly, a massive explosion occurred, destroying the lab, causing debris to collapse. The explosion released some radiation that ate away Kitty's biohazard suit. This also caused Kitty to transform into a very tall creature, known as Rampage. Meanwhile, Clark Kent managed to hear the explosion from across the town with his super hearing, because he's Superman, of course. Transforming into the Man of Steel, he flies to the area where the explosion occurred. Extinguishing the fire, Rampage pops up out of nowhere and attacks Superman. Surprisingly, she was strong enough to lay some hits on Kal-El. As they beat each other up, Rampage somehow increased in strength, including growing in height as well. As Superman tries to fly away with her by grabbing her foot, she wiggles her way out. This led to the second round as she's seen laying the smackdown on Superman. Realizing that the actualizer began to affect him, he noticed his solar cells began to rapidly replicate. Because Superman is so smart, he theorized the solar radiation can drain Rampage's strength, trying to absorb as much radiation as he can. This was a success, as Rampage is now transformed back into Kitty Faulkner. As months passed, Kitty unfortunately was sick and she needed solar and cosmic energy to keep her alive. With the help of Dr. Tom Moyers, Tom designed a collar that'll maintain the amount of energy she needed. But it's revealed that Tom had a bit of evil in him. He purposely caused Kitty to transform into Rampage. This is where she destroyed the presidential campaign of a former friend of his. Not long after, Superman ended up finding out Tom's evil scheme. Setting Rampage free from Tom's control, Tom was thrown into prison, and she manages to fix the collar's control, where it helped control her Rampage form. She would take a job at Star Labs. Later on, she became friends with the superhero named Starman, where the two helped each other out on several occasions. Their friendship developed into a romantic relationship, but this didn't last as she was sent back to Metropolis, mainly due to the explosion that gave Kitty her powers. Kitty is next seen dealing with a crime that she didn't commit, Her new colleague named Christine framed her for embezzlement, which is a crime that involves someone using someone else's possession for personal use. I probably butchered the definition of that word. Transforming into Rampage, she began going on a rampage throughout the city, trying to kill Christine. As Superman tries to fix the damage that she caused, Rampage encounters Supergirl, where she tried to stop her. As Superman shows up, he allows Rampage to attack Christine, but she didn't have the guts to take her life. With all of this settled, Christine was forced to confess her crimes. Sooner or later, Kitty returned to her Rampage form where she went berserk, but she was stopped by Mon-El, a superhero that's very similar to Superman in terms of powers. Now let's move on to her powers and abilities. Kitty is a scientific genius that can absorb and store solar energy. When Kitty transforms into Rampage, she can leap long distances. The more energy she feeds on, the bigger she gets. But this is also a downside if she absorbs too much. This will cause her body to overload.